Every footballer has several ups and downs throughout his professional career, and one of the hardest things to do is to rejuvenate yourself and become the player you once were. So in this video, we will take a look at 7 footballers who have been completely reborn this season. Before we get started, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Number 7. Lacazette. Last summer, Arsenal let go of Lacazette as they felt they needed better players than him to challenge for the league. And it's hard to say they were wrong because summer signing Jesus had been amazing up until his injury, and Arsenal are currently top of the league. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Lacazette has statistically been one of the best strikers in Europe this season. In 28 games this season, he has 21 goals and 5 assists, which puts his GA at 26. Remarkable numbers for someone who only managed 6 goals with Arsenal last season. And what makes this even better for Lyon is that they paid absolutely nothing to sign him. At 31 years old, Lacazette may still have a good couple years left in him. Number 6. Almiron. Last season it was considered an insult to be compared to a player like Almiron, but this season it's one of the biggest compliments you can get as a forward. Last season he was woeful, scoring only 1 goal in the whole of last season despite playing 32 games. This season under Eddie Howe though, Newcastle are one of the top teams in the league competing for a place in the top 4, and Almiron has been their talisman. And though the goals have dried up lately, he still has 11 goals in the Premier League, which is more than what he managed in his previous 4 seasons combined. Number 5. Sergio Ramos. Throughout his 15-year spell at Real Madrid, Ramos had been considered one of the best defenders in the world. First he exceeded at right back and then he dominated as a centre back. His time in Madrid was filled with trophies including multiple League and Champions League titles. But with Ramos in his 30s, Real Madrid saw him as past his best and decided against keeping him, and he was let go in the summer of 2021. PSG then signed him shortly after, but he had a torrid time with injuries, making only 13 appearances in his debut campaign. It was clear to see that Ramos was well and truly done at the top level. But this season, the Ramos of old is back and he has overcome his injury issues, making 36 appearances in all competitions so far. He's been a consistent performer for the French Giants, and there were even shouts for him to be recalled to the Spanish national team before he decided to retire. According to the Spanish newspaper Marca, Ramos has become one of the leaders in the dressing room and PSG are keen to keep him beyond the season. Number 4. Alexis Sanchez. Once considered one of the best attackers in Europe, Alexis Sanchez has long been considered past his best. Since his move to Manchester United back in 2018, he has fallen off a cliff and has failed to score double-digit goals in all competitions for the past 4 seasons. But that's all changed this season. After mutually terminating his contract with Inter last summer, Marseille signed him on a 1-year deal, with no one expecting Sanchez to be able to do much for the French side. But at 34 years of age, Alexis is rolling back the years and is leading the line for a side that currently sits second in Ligue 1. He has scored 12 league goals this season so far, which equals his tally for the last 2 seasons combined. Number 3. Granit Xhaka. Xhaka has very much been the villain for most of his time at Arsenal. It all started in 2016 when Arsenal opted to sign him for £35 million instead of Kante, who went to Chelsea in that same transfer window. Since then he has been very inconsistent, where he's shown his qualities here and there but has mostly been disappointing. Often he has been criticised by Arsenal fans for losing his head too easily and having lapses in concentration. He even swore at the fans and threw his jersey on the floor in a game against Crystal Palace back in 2019, which many thought would be the end of his career in North London. Fast forward nearly 4 years, he's still at the club, and a big reason as to why Arsenal could win their first Premier League title in almost 20 years. Arteta has pushed him high up the pitch this season and he has built a fantastic partnership with Thomas Partey in Arsenal's midfield. He has chipped in with goals and assists this season. And with a lack of midfield options at Arsenal this season, Xhaka has massively helped out his team by always being available to play and barely missing any football this season. Number 2. Choupo-Moting. A whirlwind career which has seen him play for the likes of Stoke City and PSG, at 34 Choupo-Moting is quite possibly having the best season of his career. Originally signed to be a bench player, he has stepped up massively since the departure of Lewandowski. Previously, the most goals he scored in a season was 11 in all competitions, and this was nearly 10 years ago. But this season, he already has 17 with plenty of football still to play. Come the end of the season, he will almost certainly double his previous best goal scoring season, and Bayern clearly value him at the club, as earlier this month they extended his contract for an additional year to fend off interest from the likes of Manchester United. Number 1. Marcus Rashford. After a terrible season for both parties last season, there were rumours that Rashford and Manchester United could part ways in the summer. He only scored 5 goals in all competitions in the previous season, and it seemed as if he may be heading down the same route as the likes of Dele Alli. But Ten Hag came in and insisted that he wanted to keep Rashford and make him a key player in his project at the club. And he's done just that, with Rashford one of the first names on the team sheet and currently in the form of his life. This season he has a career best 27 goals in all competitions to go along with his 9 assists. But it's not just Rashford's stats that have significantly improved this season. His general play has been much better too. He's now scoring a variety of goals, including headers, which has been highlighted as a weakness of his in the past. He's not always shooting from ridiculous angles like he was last season, and at 25 years old, Rashford could really kick on and establish himself as one of the top 5 players in the world. And that was it for the 7 players who have been reborn this season. Comment down below any players who you think deserved to be on this list. And as always, please like and subscribe for more football content.